Okay, welcome to Programming with Visual Basic 6.0 tutorial. Our course outline today, we shall look at Introduction to VB, starting Microsoft Visual Basic, features of VB Integrated Development, that is the IDE, opening an existing project, VB Fundamental Concepts, control structures, working with graphical objects, modules and procedures, creating menus, messages and dialog boxes. We shall also look at Visual Basic data structures, linking VB forms to a database. Then lastly, we shall look at creating a VB executable file. Therefore, what is Visual Basic? Visual Basic, or VB, is a graphical user interface programming language or system for creating software systems that run on Microsoft Windows environment. VB is an event-driven programming language. Therefore, when you look at some of the features, one of the features is that it is event-driven programming language. That means it works when an event is triggered. An event is a response generated by the program when the user performs an action. For example, mouse click. The second feature, it has a collection of tools that are used by programmers. These tools are called controls. We shall later look at various controls. Then it has special objects called forms that have a title bar at the top. The programmer can add a menu bar, status bar, toolbars, buttons, and slide bars to the form when creating an application. Therefore, those are some of the features of VB. Then, how do we start Visual Basic 6.0 or VB? Starting VB. Therefore, to start VB, just like any other application, Visual Basic is initiated by using the Programs option. Therefore, you go to All Programs, then Microsoft Visual Studio 6.0, then you will see Visual Basic 6. Therefore, clicking Visual Basic icon, when you just click the Visual Basic icon, you expect to launch VB. Therefore, when you launch VB, you will see this figure 1, that this is the Visual Basic Startup dialog box, and therefore we usually click on Standard EXE, then we click on Open. Therefore, basically, you just click on this button here, then this icon, then you click on Open. Then let's look at the environment itself, the IDE, the Integrated Development Environment for VB. One of the most significant changes in Visual Basic 6.0 is the Integrated Development Environment. We call it IDE in capital letters. IDE is a term commonly used in programming world to describe the interface and environment that we use to create our applications. It is called integrated because we can access virtually all the development tools that we need from one screen called an interface. The IDE is also commonly referred to as the design environment or the program. When you open the Visual Basic IDE, the Visual Basic IDE is made up of a number of components. We have menu bar, we have toolbar, project explorer, we have project properties window, form layout window, toolbox, and then the form designer. We shall see these ones later. Just to have this diagram here, you see we have this part having form 1. This is called the form design. Then when you create forms, reports, you will see your modules here. This is called the project window. Then the location of your form is determined or seen here, that is in the form window. Then you have the properties, and this is where you set all the properties of various controls. Then you have the standard toolbar, and also you have the code window icon. Then this is the project, that is the project container window. Then we have the toolbox. Therefore, this is the colored screenshot of the same. We have the Visual Basic 6 screen. It looks exactly as I have indicated, and therefore this one is better. This is the toolbox. This is the form design window. This is the project container. This is the property window, form layout, and then we have the project window here. Therefore, this is exactly how Visual Basic 6 looks like. Then on your left, on this side, we have the toolbox. The toolbox has various tools. You can see you have the pointer, you have the label, checkbox. Therefore, you can use these tools here on your, that is on your application development. Therefore, this is an image of the, that is the toolbox. Then we can go straight and look at various parts. We can start with the menu bar. The menu bar displays the commands that are required to build an application. Therefore, the menu bar, you have seen it on our previous slide. Then you have the toolbox. The toolbox represented in the on your left, that is in this diagram, contains a set of controls that are used to place on a form at design time, thereby creating the user interface area. Therefore, this is the toolbox. Then we have various functions of various tools, like the pointer. The pointer provides a way to move and resize the controls. Then we have the picture box. It displays icons, bitmaps, and meta files. It displays text or acts as a visual container for other controls. Then we have the text box. It is used to, this is where you type your message. Then we have the frame. It serves as a visual and functional container for controls. We have the command button used to carry out the specified action when the user chooses it. Then we have checkbox. It is used to show whether a condition is true or false, yes or no. Then we have option button, which is part of the option group, allows the user to select only one option, even if it displays many. Like, okay, in other applications we call it radio button. Then you have the list box, display a list of items from which a user can select one. Then you have the combo box. It contains a text box and a list box. This allows the user to select an item from the drop-down list or to type in the selection text box. Then we have the horizontal and vertical scroll bar. These controls allow the user to select a value within the specified range of values. We have the timer. Executes the timer events at specified intervals of time. Then we have the list, that's the drive list box. It displays the varied disk drives and allows the user to select one of them. Then we have the file list box. It displays a set of files from which a user can select the desired one. Then we have the shape. It is used to draw various shapes, rectangle, square, circle. Then we have the line. It is used to draw a straight line. We have an image, used to display images such as icons, bitmaps, etc. Then we have data. It enables the user to connect an existing database and display information from it. Then we have object linking and embedding. It is used to link or embed an object, display and manipulate data from other Windows-based applications. Then we have the label. Display the text that is used. Okay, it displays a text that the user cannot modify or interact with. Therefore, those are the explanations of various tools on the toolbox. Then, how do you save your VB application? Saving a project. Saving a project in VB is a bit different compared to other applications. This is because VB operation involves saving multiple files. That is, to save a new VB project for the first time, select Save Project As, save project as command from the file menu. The save file, the save opens a dialog box. Therefore, in the dialog box, it is important to note that you will first have to enter a form name and then click the save button. The form is saved as file with extension .frm. Mark that. After this, the Save Project As dialog box appears. Type the name of the project and it will be saved as file with the extension .vbp. Therefore, note that is the Visual Basic project. Note the two differences. We have said saving a project in VB goes in 2 steps. Therefore, it is a bit different from other applications which go on 1 step. Then, how do you open an existing project? You can open a project with VB when VB starts or from the File menu. To open a project during startup, from the New Project dialog box that appears when VB is starting, click the Existing tab. A list of existing projects will be displayed. Alternatively, open project command from File menu. Therefore, those are the 2 ways of opening an existing project. You can open at startup by selecting existing tab, or straight to file, then open, just like you do in any other application. Therefore, let's go to Visual Basic fundamental concepts. Therefore, here we shall be looking at terms or terminologies. The first one is variable. A variable is a memory location which are used to store temporarily. A variable is a memory location that contains a value. For instance, you can initialize a variable x to store value 5. A variable name must have the following features. Therefore, let's look at some of the do's and don'ts when writing variable names. Remember, you have said a variable is a memory location that contains a value. I have given an example. You can put x to store value 5. Therefore, do's and don'ts of a variable. A variable name must start with a letter. A variable name must begin with an alphabet letter and should not exceed 255 or 255 characters. It must be unique within the same scope. A variable name should not have spaces. A variable name must not be a reserved word. When we talk about a reserved word, it is a special word with special meaning to the language. For example, you cannot use the word case, you cannot use the word if, you cannot use the word else, dim, etc. Those names are preserved for the use of the language, and therefore we refer them as reserved words. There are different ways of declaring a variable in Visual Basic. Therefore, let's look at how you can declare a variable. And therefore, Visual Basic, that is the different method of Visual Basic are listed here. We can declare a variable explicit, that is explicit declaration, using option explicit statement. Then we also can look at a variable in terms of scope of the variable, that is where it is declared. Therefore, we use the keyword dim to declare a variable in VB. For example, if you want to start a number, you can just say dim x as integer, dim x as double. X there is our variable which will contain values or store values later. Then we can also look at the term variant. It is a variable whose data types has not been explicitly declared by the programmer. Then we can go ahead and look at data types in Visual Basic 6. By default, Visual Basic variables are of variant data types. We have said a variant is a variable whose data type has not been explicitly declared by the programmer. The variant data type can store numeric, date and time, or string data type. When a variable is declared, a data type is supplied for it that determines the kind of data they can store. The fundamental data types in Visual Basic, including variant, are integer, long, single, double, string, currency, byte, and boolean. Visual Basic supports a vast array of data types. Each data type has limits to the kind of information and the minimum and maximum values it can hold. In addition, some types can interchange with some other types. A list of Visual Basic's simple data types are given below. Therefore, let's look at some of the data types. We have looked at numeric. Now, when we have numeric data type in VB, we can have them as shown below. We have byte, which store integer values range 0 to 255. We have integer, store values in the range shown. We have long, it also store integer values in the range shown. We have single, we have double, and also we have currency. Remember, you can get these notes on my website. I will drop the link below this video. Then we can talk of string or characters used to store alphanumeric values. Therefore, that explanation is enough. String, in most cases, we use double quotes to denote string. Then we have date, it is used to store date and time values. Then we have Boolean data types hold either a true or a false value. In other words, you can just talk of yes or no. Then we have variant. It stores any type of data and is the default Visual Basic data type. In VB, if we declare a variable without any data type, by default, the data type is assigned as default, that is variant. Then we have constants. In programming, a constant is a value that remains the same. Just like in English, the term constant means it's not changing. And therefore, still in programming language, a constant is a value that remains the same. I have given a very good example. Like if I want to declare a constant, you use the keyword const as indicated here. This one, const. Then you can have an example. Const pi in calculation, we all know that pi is 3.142 or 22/7, and therefore const, you want to declare that one, showing that that one will not change throughout the program. Then let's look at the scope of variables. A variable scope, a variable is scoped to a procedure level or local or module level variable depending on how it is declared. The scope of a variable procedure or project determines which part of the code in our application are aware of the variable's existence. A variable is declared in a general declaration section of a form, and hence available to all procedures. Local variables are recognized only in the procedure in which they are declared. Therefore, it is very important for us to mark that we have local variables which are recognized only in the procedure in which they are declared. They can be declared with keyword dim and static. If we want a variable to be available to all the procedures within the same module, we declare them in a broader spectrum or in a broader scope. And therefore, when we talk about that one, we can declare it as global. Global means it is actually accessible for others. Therefore, scope of variables, we have private sub-procedure, we have public sub-procedure, or just private or public. Then you can talk of global, local, those are some of the scopes. You can talk of local declaration, global, public, or private. A public variable can be accessed from any module or form in the program. Okay, we have private x as integer, that's how we actually declare them. Public y as string, where x and y here are our variables. Then let's go ahead and look at operators in VB. Just like in any other programming language, you may be required to do calculations, and therefore you are supposed to be aware of operators in VB. Therefore, we have the addition, subtract or subtraction, divide, we have integer division, we have multiply, exponent or power of, we have remainder division or mod, string concatenation or joining symbol. Therefore, it has been so well demonstrated how this one works. Like divide, you can see how it works, division of integer, multiply, exponentiation, that is 3 times 3, or 3 raised to power 3, sorry, 27. Then we have remainder of this way. Therefore, this one is a very good demonstration on how those operators work. Then we can go ahead and look at relational operators. We usually have relational operators, mathematical operators, and also logical operators. We have the greater than. We have seen how it works. We have less than. This one returns true or false. Then we have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. Look at this, not equal to, how it is written. 5 not equal to 4, that is true. Equal to, that one, it gives true, false. Then we have logical operators. We have or and, or and. Therefore, when we talk about or, operation will be true if either of the operands is true, and operands will be true only if both the operators are true. Therefore, those are some of the logical operators. Then we have the assignment statement. We usually use equal to have the assignment statement, and therefore it is the equal sign, like variable equals to expression. For example, x equals to 10. That the variable there is x, the expression is 10. Then we have the print statement. When you want to output something in Visual Basic, we use the print statement. The print statement displays data on the, it should be data here, sorry for that. The print statement displays data on the active form of your VB project. For example, you can write print variable name, like I have shown you there, like print string. Therefore, there it is, we are printing the variable name, like print x. Then you have program comments. A comment is non-executable statements that are used in the program to explain something. Comments are a set of English statements included in the code that is on the program. The comments are not executed when the program is running. Therefore, basically we say a comment is an executable statement that is found in the code. You can use the keyword lem or a single quote, that is to denote a comment, that is a non-executable statement in Visual Basic. Then we have control structures in VB. A control structure refers to a set of statements that controls the flow of the program. The most common selection controls are, we have if then, we have if then else, we have nested if, we also have case selection. Therefore, on the other hand, you can add looping or repetition as our number 5. I didn't type, but it's there, looping or repetition. Then, when we talk about if-then selection structure, the if-then selection structure performs an indicated action only when the condition is true. Otherwise, the action is skipped. The syntax is if-then, that is if condition, then statement, and if. Remember to terminate with and if. An example, if average is greater than 75, then type A. That means if it is not greater than 75, it skips that one because there is no any other condition to execute. Therefore, to solve that one, we usually have if then else. If then else selection structure allows the programmer to specify that a different action is to be performed when the condition is true than when condition is false. The syntax is if condition, then statement, else statements, and if. An example, if average is greater than 50, then you type or you display pass. Else or otherwise it will type fail. Therefore, this one has solved the. Therefore, if then else is a modification or an improvement of if then. Then we have the nested if. The nested if structures test multiple cases by pressing if then else selection structures inside if then else structures. Therefore, it is a repetition. That's why we are calling it nested if. Therefore, what happens here, if condition 1 is checked, then it goes to condition 2. If condition 2 is probably not met, then it goes to condition 3. And therefore we have conditions, that is if then else inside another if then else. That's why we are calling it nested if. Therefore, after doing that, you can also opt to use case select or select case, that is select case selection. Select case structure is an alternative to if then else if. Therefore, case structure is an alternative for or for, that is, it is an alternative to nested if, and therefore it usually repeats just like we have done in if else whatever there. Therefore the syntax is we write select case, like you can write select case max, select case index, that is, then case 0 you write your statement, case 1 you write your statement, then you have to terminate it with end select. Therefore, I would urge you to view or to watch my next video. I will be doing the practical of exactly what I have taught you, and therefore I will be taking you through all this in practical session in my next video. Therefore, we have an example here of how case works. We have said dim average as integer, then we have average equals to that. Then I am interested in the case. This is how we initialize. Select case average. Then we have case 100 to 75, you have grade A. Case 74 to 65, we have B. Then we are actually looking that we are going down. We are reducing the cases. Then you have case this to this grade, case this to this grade. Then we have to end with end select. But remember to have this case else. This one is very important. Case else. Then we have our statement there. Therefore, I'll be doing the practical session on that. Then let's go to looping. Looping or repetition. A repetition structure allows the programmer to do an action several times, and therefore we usually have several. We shall look at several. We have do while loop statement. The do while loop is used to execute statements until a certain condition is met. The following do loop counts from 1 to 100. Dim number as integer, number 1, that's the initial value, we have equals to 1. Then do while up, that is up to 100, that is less or equal to 100. Then the number is incremented with 1, and therefore a variable number is initialized to 1, and then the do while loop starts. First, the condition is tested. If condition is true, then the statement are executed. When it gets to the loop, it goes back to the do and tests the condition again. If condition is false on the first pass, the statement are never executed. Therefore, that is one of the repetition structures. We have do while, or that is while loop. Then we have the while when. This is in Visual Basic. A while when statement behaves like do while loop statement. The following while counts from 1 to 0. Therefore, just look at the difference. Number, we initialize number 1. While number is less or equal to 100, the number is incremented. Then when, we terminate by when. Then we have do loop while statement. Do loop while statement first executes the statement and then tests the condition after each execution. The following program block illustrates the structure. Therefore, number 0 we initialize there. Then do, we increment the number. Then we test the condition. Therefore, the program executes the statements between do and loop. While structure, while structure in any case, while in any case, then it determines whether the counter is less than 5 or 1. If so, the program again executes the statement between do and loop, while else exits the loop. Therefore, you can still get these notes on my website for more scrutiny. Then we have do until loop statement. Unlike do while loop and while when repetition structures, the do until loop structure tests a condition for falsity. Statements in the body of a do until loop are executed repeatedly as long as the loop continuation tests evaluates to false. An example for do until loop statement, the coding is typed inside the click event of a command button. Therefore, do until, unlike the do-while loop and while-when repetition structures, the do until loop structure tests a condition for falsity. Statements in the body of a do until loop are executed repeatedly as long as the loop continuation test evaluates to false. An example of do until loop statement, the coding is typed inside the click event of a command button. Therefore, you can see how this one is written. We have declared the number, then we initialize to 0, then do until number is greater than 1000, then we increment and print the number, then we loop. Therefore, number between 1 to 1000 will be displayed on the form as soon as the click on the button is done. Then we have the for next loop. The for next loop is another way to make loops in Visual Basic. For next repetition structure handles all the details of control repetition. The following loop counts the number from 1 to 100. Dim x as integer, we are declaring our variable as integer. Then for 1 to 50, that is our range, print x, then next. In order to count the number from 1 to 50 in step 2, the following loop can be used. For equals, that is for x equals 1 to 50, step 2, print x next. The following loop counts numbers as 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. The above coding will display number vertically on the form. In order to display horizontally, the following method can be used. You can use as shown there. You use the space, you introduce the space character. To increase the space between the numbers, increase the value inside the brackets after the ampersand. Then from there, you can look at this example given here. Then let's look at working with graphical objects. To add a picture or object onto a form, simply click the picture box or image tool on the toolbox and then drag to define the area where you want the picture to be placed. Right-click the object and then click on Properties to open. Set the name and the path properties. The path property tells the control where the picture is located. Therefore, this one will also be done in our practical session. Then we have modules and procedures. Large projects must be made modular in nature to enhance maintainability and independence of the various code blocks. The three main modules used in VB are explained in the next slide. Therefore, we have the standard module, form module, and procedures. Standard modules, their declarations and procedures can be accessed by other modules. They are usually stored in files that have the extension .bas. You can create a module by clicking project, then add module. Then we have the form module. They are stored as files with the extension .frm. Each form have many procedures and controls. To add a form to the project, click project menu, then add form. Procedures. These are events or self-contained blocks of code or commands that can be accessed and used by programmers. The code procedure will normally carry out a specific function, that is the specific function in which it is supposed to do. Therefore, declaring general subroutines. So far, we have mainly discussed event-driven procedure. Visual Basic also lets the programmer create general procedures that can be called within another procedure, that is subroutine. The general format of a general purpose subroutine is we write subroutine name, then our statement, then end sub. Therefore, to understand more and more on this one, make sure you watch my next video on practical session of Visual Basic for beginners. Then we have the message box function in Visual Basic. Therefore, you can see the parts of a message box indicated here. We have the button, we have the default value here, icon, we have the title. Therefore, a message box is special type of dialog box used to display a message to the user. Therefore, these are some of the parts and explained here. We have the title, icon, buttons, etc. Then we have dialog boxes. A dialog box enables the user to have a dialogue with the computer. That is, to exchange information with the computer. You have seen this many times when you try to open or save a file. Therefore, we have a dialog box here, this one here, with OK and cancel. Therefore, to create a dialog box, open a project on which you created the menu bar and do the following. Therefore, in case you had done that, from the project menu, click Add Form, then click New from the Add Form dialog box, select Dialog. A form with the two commands OK and cancel is added to your project. From your main form file menu, click on Open Command, then you can type the following command, that is load dialog.show1. Therefore, that one will actually display the following, that is the below. It will display this when you run. Then let's look at creating menus. Visual Basic provides an easy way to create menus with the model menu editor dialog. The below dialog is displayed when the menu editor is selected in the tool menu. The menu editor command is grayed unless the form is visible. And also you can display the menu editor window by right-clicking on the form and selecting menu editor. Basically, each menu item has a caption property, possibly with an embedded ampersand character to create an access key and a name. Each item also exposes 3 Boolean properties enabled, visible, and checked, which you can set both at design time and at runtime. At design time, you can assign the menu item a shortcut key so that the end users don't have to go through the menu system each time they want to execute a frequent command. Do you really like pulling down the edit menu anytime you need to clear some text or copy it to the clipboard? The answer is no. You like using Control C for copy, Control X for cutting. Therefore, it is also important you do that. Therefore, building a menu is simple. For you to understand more and more on this one, you need to actually have a practical session, because you just go a very long procedure of doing it using the menu editor. Therefore, this is the menu editor. We have the caption. We usually write the caption here. We have the name, index. We have various buttons as indicated in this dialog box. These are the parts I was talking about: checked, enabled, and visible. Therefore, we shall interact with this one in our practical session, and I'll be taking you through how to come up with the menus. Therefore, you have an expanded menu here. Therefore, you can look at how it looks like. You can also create such a menu, an expanded menu using the menu editor. Then we have list box and combo box. List box and combo box controls present a set of choices that are displayed vertically in a column. If the number of items exceed the value that be displayed, scroll bars will automatically appear on the control. These scroll bars can be scrolled up and down or left to right through the list. The following figure lists some of the common combo box properties and methods. Therefore, first of all, there is this adding items to the list. Therefore, this is a diagram trying to show you how we can add lists. Like now here, I have just gone to the property window. Then I want to write USA, Canada, Australia, various countries to be displayed. And therefore, when they exceed this box, a scroll bar will automatically appear there. Therefore, from there, you can also have this code, that is the combo name dot add item 1 dot item 2 to add items in the combo box using the form road. Therefore, you can either use this one or opt to type them as I have shown you in the previous screen. Then, using the combo box. A combo box combines the features of a text box and a list box. This enables the user to select either by typing text in the combo or by selecting an item from the list. There are three types of combo styles that are presented shown below. Therefore, you see these are we have drop down combo, we have simple combo, we also have drop down list combo. Therefore, these are the three types of combos that you can create in Visual Basic, but the common one is drop down combo. That one is the one that many people are conversant with. Therefore, you can still get these notes on my website, download for free. Then we have the other part, data structures in VB. We can start by looking on arrays. An array is a group of data that it is a group of data with the same structure. Therefore, when you talk about arrays, a control array is a group of controls that share the same name type and the same event procedures. Adding controls with control arrays uses fewer resources than adding multiple control of same type at design time. A control array can be created only at design time, and at the very minimum, at least one control must belong to it. You create a control array following one of these three methods. One, you create a control and then assign a numeric non-negative value to the index property. You have thus created a control array with just one element. You create two controls of the same class and assign them an identical name property. Visual Basic shows a dialog box warning you that there is already a control with that name and asks whether you want to create a control array. Click on Yes button. You select a control on the form, press Ctrl C to copy it to the clipboard, and then press Ctrl V to paste a new instance of the control, which has the same name property as the original one. Visual Basic shows the warning mentioned in the previous bullet. Therefore, to declare array, use the statement dim array name, then the number I have shown you, score 4 equals to score 3, then print score. Therefore, dim array name, then the variable there. Then you can also have records as other data types. A record comprises of series of related data items or fields. They differ from arrays in that whereas all elements in an array are the same of the same data type, data items in records may differ in type. Then we have data files. A file can be defined as a storage location of related information or records. VB recognizes three types of files, namely text or sequential, random files, and binary files. Therefore, you have seen we have data structure, we have record structure, array structure, where we have files, we have the following types: text or sequential, random files, and binary files. For better understanding, watch my next video on practical session, that is practical series of VB for beginners. I will be doing a comprehensive practical video on VB. It will cover all this. It will cover arrays, it will cover procedures, subroutines, dialog boxes, all those ones that we have gone through, data types, etc. Then we can also do linking. For Visual Basic, Visual Basic cannot just store data by itself. It must be linked to a database. And VB6 works well with Microsoft Access database, and therefore linking Visual Basic forms to a database. In VB, it is possible to access an existing database. This is done by adding data controls on the form. For example, assuming a database called library exists and it has a table called students. To access this table in VB, open your VB project, click the Project Explorer icon on the toolbox, on the toolbar that is, to display the Explorer window. Double click Form 1 in the project Explorer window to display the blank form. If property windows is not displayed, right click the form, then select property from the shortcut menu. Change the properties. Double click the data control tool on the toolbox. Therefore, this one can be a very long explanation of which you may not understand very well. Therefore, watch my next practical video. That one will guide you very well on how to do the connection. Therefore, you may not really get it clearly by explanation. Then we can just go to our final part. How do you make VB executable? That is, once you are done with your project, you hit File, then you hit Make Project 1. Like here, I have not saved my project, therefore it is project1.exe. Therefore, you usually hit File here, then in this drop down list you go to Make your project. If your project is called library, then you will see Make Library executable. Once you hit this, you save it, you will have an executable program running. Therefore, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Please watch my next video, that is practical video for beginners, a comprehensive one, that is in Visual Basic 6.0 or 6.0. Thank you again.